Glad you guys can all make it. As you can see, we built a building. He doesn't like the recognition, but I do like to point out that this is Jamie Alton's building, and he did a phenomenal job. I would have to, don't you all agree? I mean, come on. This was Preston and I's vision for a long time. We talked about this for years over hunting. Never really thought it'd come to fruition like this, but we're pretty pleased with it. Everybody's been kind of following what's been going on with the legalization. Obviously, it's one day roller coaster. It's happening tomorrow. The next day, it's off the plate. We pretty much got to the point where it's going to happen. When it does, it does. Our main focus when we started this company a year ago was to get the infrastructure put together so we can jump when it's time. So exactly 1 year ago, actually it was Cinco de Mayo, where we met at the Becker's pool area and sat the board, basically formulated the company and made the plans to do this. In that course, over the last 12 months, Preston has worked diligently with Jamie and other members of the team to build this building, get everything done, as you see. I mean, this thing is wired, state of the art. It's going to be a medical grade, phenomenal grow facility. You're sitting inside the flower room right now. This is the money room. Nothing else matters but this room right here. So according to the statistics, national average statistics, a 5,000 square foot flower room like this, if the national average continues at $10 a gram for your top end flower, which is kind of low for top end medical, but if we use a $10 average, this room is a $20 million room because it can hold 1,000 plants at any given time, and I can cycle it 6 times a year. So technically, you're sitting in a $20 million room, built, ready to go. So they say legal, I got plants in here. Well, minus a few things. Overall, this whole building, as you've walked through and seen it, and who has not had a chance to understand all the rooms yet, we'll be happy to walk through afterwards. The flower, or the clone rooms, the pre-veg rooms, the veg room, all the way to the flower room, the clean room, trim rooms, the vault. There's a lot of intricate pieces that go into this building and this company operating. But everything is right here on this main floor. Upstairs is just corporate. We added that after we started because at the time, with the price of material and concrete, it actually made sense to go ahead and put on another 5,000 square feet upstairs because we already had the foundation for it. So there wasn't that much more of a cost to go ahead and add the corporate building, and we're very glad we did. And then we also expanded out over that way with the shop area and things we needed. Came up with a total of about 20,000 square feet for the whole building. So we have a 20,000 square foot, fully functional building ready to go within a few months of some details to produce, on average, about 20 to 25 million a year, just this one flower room. But if you guys all know that based on our where we're going with this is just the start. This building is just the beginning building. We have 40 acres with another 40-acre option that Mr. Becker has offered us from the beginning. So I think 86 acres total, is that right? About 86 acres? 86 acres to expand on. Up that hill this way with multiple flower rooms. Based on the new law and what they're saying, we should be able to go up to 50,000 square foot total of flower space. So this is only 5,000. So we can do 45,000 more, and we have 86 acres to build it. So you can do the math yourselves. If each flower room is about 20 to 25 million a year annually, and we can do 50,000 of that, it doesn't take a rocket science to figure out that we actually put together one hell of a company already. Thanks to all of you. So when we met today as a board, we didn't have a lot to discuss because, well, we did everything we said we'd do in a year. We built a building. We acquired a really awesome commercial lot in Derby that's right off the main highway. That will be our flagship dispensary when we build it. And we acquired a shed in town that we built out and put a small dispensary in for the Wellington dispensary. Also, it's our kind of our trial and error. When we get things ready to sell, we're going to use that as our, get our wheels greased, get people trained, start moving the products while we're building our main dispensary in Derby. Upon legalization and doing all that, we plan on expanding very quickly. Not only the flower rooms, but like we said, we'd like to have 18 dispensaries across the state within a few years. So if we can do this in a year, just imagine what we can do in the next 2 or 3 years. Seriously. Upon legalization and revenue coming in, there's no reason why this company can't be a $1 billion company inside of 5 years. That's my goal. That's what I'd like to see. If I get half that, I'll still be happy. So upon our meeting today and going through our assets, and by the way, we do own everything. This company is debt-free. We carry zero debt whatsoever. We have paid cash for everything we've done. So this building, the lot in Derby, and the dispensary in town that we already have done and finished is 100% owned with no debt against it. So with all those assets in the company, as well as what we've accomplished so far in development of the company structure, the board agreed today on our stock price based on our assets and accounting. And Mason, I do believe, kind of backed me up with his expertise. So as of today, the new stock price is $2 a share. That is the new valuation based on the company's current asset standing and legalization just around the corner. So everybody's doubled their money in 1 year. Congratulations. With that being said, because of the exuberant fees that the state is going to be charging us to license this flower room, the board also agreed that we're going to release another 500,000 shares of stock because in the future, we're going to need some more capital to license and to function. And so we are going to release another 500,000 shares. That's it. We still have 4.5 million shares libraried, but it's at the $2 a share price. So as soon as one person buys 1 share of stock at that price and sets it, then everybody's share price is worth $2 a share. So in 12 months, 50 or 100% increase, not too bad. So that happens as of today.
And if the people don't know, the fees in Kansas were like going to be around 100,000 originally. Well, they're up past $500,000 now.
Yeah, this actually right now to license this flower room, our extraction room, and our dispensary is going to cost us $500,000 just in licensing.
For 2 years.
For 2 years. That's just what they set it at. So luckily, there's not a lot of people out there that can afford that, and we are in a position where we can. So to us, it's just like, okay, not a problem. Everybody else is like, what? So we actually, again, by jumping ahead and getting the infrastructure built and the foundation of this company so we can jump when we need to, by doing that, we put ourselves in a position that I don't think anybody else in the state's probably sitting at, as strong as we are. So if we were one of the first people with licensing and hit the road running with a great product, I can only imagine in a very short period of time, especially with all of you and the word of mouth, that the Sunbelt Growers high-end medical grade cannabis will be a household name inside of no time in Kansas. That's our goal. So that's up to everybody. I mean, everybody has to speak highly of the company, obviously promote it. I mean, we're all in this together. And with legalization, and here's the great news, it gets better. So with legalization, whenever they do it, whether it be this year or next year, the way a company can allocate its stock valuation is based on its ability to pay a dividend. And as I promised at the very beginning, as soon as we have revenue coming in the door, I'll be paying a dividend. Because we don't need to hang on to all the money to grow the company. We'll have plenty of money to grow the company. The fact that we can pay a dividend, and if you use a net capitalization of a 4-year period of time, just on this one flower room alone, no expansion, nothing else, but a $20 million flower room over a 4-year period and the ability to pay a dividend, upon legalization, our stock will automatically jump to $4 a share. And that's from a dealer broker that told me $3.72 a year ago. So we pretty much nailed it. So as soon as you hear the governor say, I'm signing it, our stock price goes to $4 a share. And from there, it's going to do nothing but skyrocket. We kept it small for a reason. I mean, we only had a small amount of stock because we wanted to maintain a boutique style and not over flood the market with our stock. Unlike other companies that like Tilray and other companies out there that have trillions of shares of stock, and you know, some are trading at 30, 40 cents a share, that kind of stuff, because they literally have so much stock. They oversaturated the market with their stock, and it's hard to get that value up. And it's hard to pay a sizable dividend when you have billions of shares of stock. So the fact that we only have 10 million shares of stock total for the entire company, and as of right now, we've only released 5 million of it, it is very small. So by doing that, and with this flower room and with the rest of the company, as we plan on expanding it, the stock value, which is what everybody's here for, is the value and the price, should skyrocket. 16, 24, I mean, who knows where the limit is. It's all going to be based on how much of a dividend we can pay. So right now, we've pretty much done everything we can do in creating and building this infrastructure. Like I said, we built the building in under a year. We got the lot. We've got the dispensary. So right now, over the next couple of months, Jamie Alton will finish this building, all the what little stuff needs to be done, and get it ready. But we are kind of in a stagnant point. We have to sit and wait. We discussed doing some things like Preston and I mentioned in the very beginning, that if the legalization took too long, we talked about doing CBD, we talked about doing some other stuff to bring money into the company. But after penciling that out, and with what the state of Kansas is doing to people right now in different counties, shutting them down, raiding them, and the fact that CBD products in Kansas technically are not legal, the gummies and all that people are using and selling everywhere are not legal, technically. So it wasn't worth the risk for us to jump in and try to make some money doing that. So we're just going to sit and wait. It's better for us to sit and wait. We have money in the bank, we have the building, we have everything we need. So all we're waiting for is legalization. Once they pass legalization, the gloves are off, and we're off to the races. Would you like to say something, Preston?
No, I agree. Thank you all for coming, by the way. And no, I think we're going to build a great company here, so I'm excited.
And you guys, I'll tell you, this man right here has worked tirelessly behind the scenes with all this. I mean, this wouldn't exist if it wasn't for him. He literally, as the president of this company, has outshined anybody I could possibly imagine in that position. So we should be pretty blessed that he's leading our ship here as the president of the company.
Yeah, everybody.
I mean that. So in the end, within 12 months, I think we've done all right. Anybody have any problems with what we've built so far? We can meet outside if you do. No, I'm very stoked. I'm happy. Thank you again for everybody and basically the confidence that you had in giving us the opportunity to do this. And honestly, I hope that with what your eyes can see, nobody should be disappointed. If you are, I'm sorry, you're never going to be happy. Because this is pretty awesome. Any questions? Please, anybody. Yes, ma'am.
I may be the only person here who doesn't know you, and then I would like to know the names of our officers.
Yes, ma'am. Well, if all the board members would come up front, please. John, Jamie, Mason, Lindsay, Mitzi, and of course, Poppy. So this right here is your board of directors. These are the people that are running the company and making decisions. The actual officers of the company are Mitzi, Lindsay, myself, and Preston and Mason. We're the actual, what's considered the inside officers. The other...
Titles of these officers too, please.
I'm sorry, ma'am?
What is their title?
Yes, ma'am. Mitzi Carroll is the chief financial officer. For now, she would like to get that position up when she doesn't have to do it anymore, and then probably Mason. Lindsay is basically senior vice president in HR. She's going to be writing the HR manuals, the books, kind of handling all that side. Preston is the president, and I'm the CEO.
You are?
I'm the CEO.
You are? What's your
I'm
name?
Micah.
I'm sorry?
I'm Micah.
Micah.
Yes,
What's
ma'am.
your last name?
Micah Stowe.
Thank you.
I'm the CEO. And then Mason is, right now, we have him in kind of like dual roles because obviously he had a little baby here. And he's, been kind of busy. But he actually is going to head up our acquisitions, development, expansion, which is our dispensaries, all the locations and that kind of stuff. As well as be Mitzi's sounding board and mine on the financial side because he is like a CPA and financial guru. So I rely upon him to back me up when I make my statements. I don't want to be like an idiot. That's the board and the officers. Did I answer your question?
Now do the rest of the board.
Oh, sorry, and the rest of the board. So this is Poppy Becker, right? Lives right over here.
Hello.
He's our the quintessential point for our agricultural development on this land. He actually is the chairman of the board of development for the grounds work, the trees, the grass. This place is going to look like a high-end a campus, kind of like a Google campus, how we want it to look in the end. It's going to be just a beautiful sight to see. We don't want it to be an eyesore. It's not going to be like a bunch of greenhouses up the hill with crap everywhere. This actually is going to, this whole entire place is going to be really. And then, of course, his son, Sean Becker. He's also the chairman of the Junior Investor Committee. He takes care of basically any questions that any of you have, direct them to him. He will handle them. John Purdue, he will be handling my physical security and other stuff as we put fencing in. Obviously, a big man, you don't want to mess with him. I don't. Jamie Alden, which is head of my construction committee. He actually has built this and handles all this, and he will be overseeing the entire expansion and construction of this whole property over the next several years. And if you don't, I'll duct tape you to the building. And then the only person that's not here right now is Ray. He is the last board member, but he's way up north and couldn't make it down here. And he's just kind of like, he actually goes way back with Preston in the packing industry, and I rely upon him because of his extensive knowledge in flow. He knows how to flow a company from, he already corrected me on a few things to this and for our new buildings to make it even better and smoother, the production flow. So we have pretty much somebody in every single category that we need on the board to build this company together as a whole. Is that your question now? Sweet, yes sir.
Who's your horticulturist, or who does the horticultural part of it?
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah, I am the, when it comes down to the growing of the plants and the knowledge of actually doing all of it, I moved here from Oregon. I had multiple gardens up in Oregon. When I retired from that, I was on my way to Key Largo. He stopped me and said, move here first and do this. So I have extensive knowledge and have built and grown multiple gardens, did extremely well in Oregon. So when it comes down to the actual growing of the plants from babies, from clones, whatever, I actually designed my own soil and dirt specifically for this building and this room. The dirt, the lighting, the pots, soil, the racks, everything we use, I designed based on my knowledge and specific for this building and this environment. And it's already been tested, and it's very good. Yes, oh, another question over here? I'm hard of hearing, so you're going to have to speak up, I'm sorry.
How many grams will you be able to move each week? Like every single week or month or whatever?
You know, that's a great question. It really, her question was, how many grams can we move a week? Well, this building, or this flower right here will produce upwards of 1,000 plants, and your average yield of top grade flowers is about 0.75 pounds per plant, okay? So of your top grade, if that doesn't count your fluff, doesn't count all your trim leaf and all the other things that come out of the products. But the actual just top grade flower is about 0.75 pounds per plant in a room, this kind of a room. So the amount that can be moved through dispensaries is really gonna depend on the market. You know, like our first dispensary in Derby and our one here in Wellington, I mean, I imagine they'll do extremely well. We don't know what the state's going to say yet, like what the actual volume people can buy. They have moved it a few times. I think the last one, they bumped it up quite a bit.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
I think they bumped it up to, gosh, like,
It was like 3 ounces maybe?
like 3 ounces a month or something like that per person, per patient. So it's a lot. This room alone, daily, will process 5 to 6 racks, and there's 8 fully grown plants per rack. So if you have, 8 racks, 0.75 pounds per rack, and you're doing 5 a day, you do the math. That's coming out every day through the cycle, out the door, into the dry room, and every day those plants and that harvested flower will move on down the line all the way to the cure room, the dry room, the processing room to be packaged, sealed, and ready for sale. So from a time a plant comes into this room before it's actually ready to be hit the market is about 12 to 16 weeks is what it takes from the time a plant comes in here. It matures its flower, you harvest it, you cure it, you trim it, all that kind of stuff, and have it ready for market. So with the constant flow, like I said, this flower room is going to be processing flower 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 12 months a year. Plants come in here, they flower, they go out. This room is always for flowering. So if you're moving that much every single day and the dispensaries can sell that much every day, that answers your question. So I mean, I'm hoping that this room will be able to supply 1 or 2 dispensaries. Based on our knowledge and what I've seen in the past, if everything goes the way I'm thinking, and our site in Derby, this one room might not be enough to just supply 1 dispensary. That's why we're planning on doing 10 more of them to supply all of our dispensaries. So if we're moving that much product, the revenue is not going to be an issue. at all. And the fact that we don't have to pay any brokers or middlemen, we literally control everything from seed to sale. We actually grow it here, we move it ourselves, and we'll have our own dispensaries to sell it. We're not paying any of the middlemen, we're not paying any of the fees or anything else to acquire the stuff. We literally have it all. So we can actually keep our price point to a minimum where we're moving more volume at a great price point based on competition that has to pay other people. Because most places will either be a grower, or there'll be a dispensary, or there'll be an extractor. Very few businesses are actually going to do it all. And that was our plan to begin with, because I learned from experience there's too much money lost in people that have to broker your stuff, or you have to buy it from if you want to have a dispensary and you got to buy it from a grower, and the growers run out and you have nothing for your dispensary, you have nothing to sell. And that happened time and time again in Oregon and other states, where literally, like one day you have this huge flux of, from summer harvest, and you have more weed you can possibly imagine, you can't sell it, and then 3 months later, nobody can find any. So we don't want that happening. Consistency is the key, both in our product as well as the amount we have and the ability to sell it on a regular basis.
So from the day that it's legalized to the time that we have stuff in a dispensary, how long is that?
One more time, sorry.
When it's the day it's legalized,
Uh-huh.
how long until things are in the dispensary ready to go?
Well, the day they say we can sell, we'll be selling. Okay. Because they're going to give us a time frame of when we can actually start propagating flower plants. And we have our first batch of mother plants in Oregon waiting. So we actually have 1,000 plants to be brought here as soon as they say it's legal. So we will actually be growing, harvesting, processing, and curing, packaging, and sealing a product before it can be sold. So when they say your legal sale date is this date, we will have product on the shelf that day. So the first day it's legal, we will be having product to sell. Absolutely. We're not going to be waiting. That's why we did all this in the beginning, because we wanted everything to be ready so we can jump on that. Because I'll tell you, that first surge, when something goes legal in a new state, we'll make more money in that first couple of months than this whole thing probably cost us to put together.
We have a CPA firm that we kind of brought on to help us with the books on this cannabis, and they've been in it 12 years, and they're telling us that the average dispensary that they take care of does about $20 million a year, each dispensary. So if this is what that room does, then we're only going to be able to supply one dispensary.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So that's why we only have Derby right now in Wellington, because we only have enough grow space to supply one dispensary. But if that's what we start with, at $20 million, one dispensary, I'm not going to complain, because that will give me the revenue to build all the rest of them. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can maybe legally sell to other dispensaries, being as how we're a grower.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we wouldn't have to market all of our own growth.
No.
No, you can, and that's $20,000. With the way the bill reads right now, $20,000 application fee is not refundable if you don't get it, and then the license is $100,000, and then we can sell.
Well, it's actually, this flower room is $180,000 because it's $4,000 per 100 square feet. So every 100 square foot of flower space costs $4,000 a license every 2 years. So this room alone is going to be, between the application fee and the actual license fee, this is a $200,000 room just to get a license to grow in here. And then the dispensary is a whole nother $120,000, whatever. Yes, sir.
Will you eventually do edibles also? Will you do edibles at your dispensary?
Yeah, yes. No, and that's one thing, when you guys walk around, check it out. Out here in this main building part out here, this back room was designed as the extraction room, and it had to be separate from the rest of the building because of all the ventilation and everything else you need, because extraction machines, a lot of them run on gases, different types of butanes and stuff. So that room out there will be developed as the extraction room to process all the trim leaf and everything else to produce a live resin or the active ingredients to put in things like gummies, capsules. We have plans on producing anything and everything that people have already experienced or want to have to partake in the cannabis. We'll have a way to do it, whether it's an ingestible or a rub-on or a smoking, whatever. We do plan on doing all of that. Initially, we'll start out with the flower and some basic, like a gummy bear, which we've already designed. So basic things like that. And as things move along, we will add to it, like one thing at a time. But right now, we just want to get the flower out and start selling that, so people start, recognizing that Sunbelt Growers cannabis is the highest grade medical you can find anywhere. Any other questions? All right. Well, again, We got food, walk around. If you want to take a tour with me, I'll walk you through the building. Please ask all the questions you want privately. We're here for you. This is your company. And again, thank you so much for being here and giving us the opportunity to do this and putting your faith in us. We have a big future ahead of us. We really do. So thank you.